There comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one. There are people dying, oh, and it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. We can't go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere will soon make a change. We're all a part of God's great big family, and the truth, you know, love is all we need.
We are the world, we are the children, we are the ones who make a brighter day, so let's start giving. Oh, there's a choice we're making, we're saving our own lives. It's true, we make a better day, just you and me. We are the world, we are the children, we are the ones who make a brighter day, so let's start giving. Oh, there's a choice we're making, we're saving our own lives. It's true, we make a better day, just you and me. It's true, we make a better day, just you and me.
The Exhortation of the Dawn by Kalidasa. Look to this day, for it is life, the very life of life. In its brief course lie all the verities and realities of your existence, the bliss of growth, the glory of action, the splendor of beauty. For yesterday is but a dream, and tomorrow is only a vision. But today, well lived, makes every yesterday a dream of happiness, and every tomorrow a vision of hope. Look well, therefore, to this day. And for our chalice lighting, I shall call up Dave Tubner. We have not come here to take prisoners or to confine our wondrous spirits, but to experience ever and ever more deeply our divine courage, freedom, and light. Hafiz.
What a joy it is this morning to have Lindsay Bartlett joining me in our Time for All Ages. As you may know, on Thursday evening, the 1 billion Muslim adherents of that religion started the month of Ramadan, a word that means scorching. Ramadan is the practice of extended fasting, not eating, not drinking, and not doing a few other things in order to purify oneself for a whole month. It doesn't mean they don't eat the whole time. They have a pre-dawn meal and then they have a meal after the sun goes down. But during the day, no food or water. And as we think of our Muslim brothers and sisters, there is in that tradition, in Islamic tradition, just like many other world traditions and cultures, a figure by the name of Nasruddin Hoja, Hoja meaning teacher. And Nasruddin is one of these people we call pranksters. He's a very wise person who conveys his faith in a humorous and memorable way. Lindsay and I have picked out 3 stories where Nasruddin is pictured to share with you this morning out of so many that are collected. And I think mine is the first. Once upon a time, of course, a long, long time ago, four boys approached the great Nasrudin with a problem. They had a big bag of walnuts that they collected, but they didn't know how to divide them properly. So they said, Hoja, how shall we divide these walnuts? We don't know how to divide them. And Nasrudin thought for a moment and he said, do you want to divide them God's way or the mortal way? And they all looked at each other and thought it would be best to say, why God's way? And so Nasrudin paused and said, very good. And he reached into the bag of walnuts and he took out 2 handfuls of walnuts for one of the boys. And he reached in again and he gave 1 handful of walnuts to another boy. And then he reached in again and he gave 2 walnuts to the third boy, and to the fourth boy he gave out none at all. And the boys were quite struck by this and said, well, how come we didn't get the same amount? And he said, because you asked for God's way. God gives to some much, he gives to others enough, and he gives to some not at all. If you'd asked for the mortal way, then I would have made sure to divide them equally among you.
Well, that Hoja was a trickster for sure. So the Hoja collected over many years 1,000 coins. And one day, a thief came and stole the money. The Hoja was very sorry, and he prayed every night. And after many days, a man came and gave 1,000 coins to the Hoja. And the Hoja asked, what is this? The man explained, I am a sailor, and the ship I was on was in peril. The waves lashed the ship, and we were all very frightened. So I said to God, if I return safely to land, I will give 1,000 coins to the Hoja. And here they are. And when the Hoja heard this, he said, dear God, what a strange job you have. Where did my money go? And from where does it return? What is the use of this when it comes and goes so? Where to go is the last of our 3 stories. The people asked the Hoja, dear Hoja, tell us, where should we go in a funeral procession? In front, at the back, or at the side? Well, the Hoja answered, it doesn't matter where you go, as long as you don't go in the coffin. That Hoja.
That Hoja. And there are many more of these tales that Lindsay and I could tell you, but these 3 are going to have to suffice for today. Thank you, Lindsay.
Thank you, Rev Mike.
Our meditation prompt was written by the great Howard Thurman. There is something in you that waits and listens for the sound of the genuine in yourself. It is the only true guide you will ever have. And if you cannot hear it, you will spend your days on the ends of strings that somebody else pulls. So now let us enter into the silence. Breathe naturally. Please do not struggle to do meditation. In the quiet, listen to the stirrings of authenticity within you. Embrace them as they could be you, struggling to become you. Feel the rustle of honesty in your breath, your head, your heart. Believe me when I say it is you coming into your own. Let the truth that your mind and body have been all along reminding you of be revealed in this moment. Blessed be, and blessed are we. It's so strange to be here in the sanctuary, nearly alone, without all of you here. And yet it's good that we keep on with our services, with our collected worship. And as strange as it might seem, where there's no one to carry around the plate, nor anyone here to drop a check, that we continue to do our offering words, and we hope that you take advantage of the many ways that you can to contribute to the church, either by sending a pledge check or donating online on our website. And so, now is the time for our offering. Give what you will for the church that means so much to you, for the church that meant so much to those who came before you, and for the church that will mean so much to people you will never know. Give what you will, for you're a generous people. And if you are of a mind to sing, our offertory today is hymn number 347, Gather the Spirit. So you're welcome to join in and sing along at home if you'd like. Separate fires will kindle one flame. Witness the mystery of the hour. Our trials in this light appear all the same. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather sympathy now and then. Gather in hope, compassion and strength. Gather to celebrate once again. Gather the Spirit growing in all, drawn by the moon and fed by the sun. Winter to spring and summer to fall. strength, gathered to celebrate once again.
We are our stories. Stories that can be both prison and crowbar to break open the door of that prison. We make stories to save ourselves or to trap ourselves or others, stories that lift us up or smash us against the stone wall of our own limits and fears. Liberation is always in part a storytelling process, breaking stories, breaking silences, making new stories. A free person tells her own story. A valued person lives in a society in which her story has a place.
Thank you, Lindsay, for that remarkable reading by Rebecca Solnit. Our message today is called The New Story. What an incredibly strange time in which we find ourselves alive, which, considering that there is a global pandemic, the fact that we are alive is in itself very good news. As I begin this message, my mind is on the many people who are risking their lives working at hospitals and nursing homes, grocery stores, for emergency services. My mind is on those businesses, those factories that have been repurposed to produce equipment necessary to preserving life and helping people get over COVID-19, and all the workers in those factories. Yes, it is a strange time, a menacing time, a time like no other, and yet also a quite ordinary time too. People are sick, and people have died, and will continue to die. Yet death goes along a-dancing as it always has done, keeping life company. For the time being, we are all supposed to be staying home with a few exceptions. Those fortunate to do so may also be working from home. Others have been furloughed or simply let go from their positions, and so forced to go on unemployment or apply for assistance that might help them keep their homes or delay losing their apartments while making sure they have their daily bread. There are some states in what seems an increasingly precarious union readying to start back up, opening for business, getting back to work, traveling and expressing their religious views in the company of hundreds or even thousands inside their churches. It seems foolish and premature to me, and the cynic will say it's a ploy to avoid paying people who aren't working, freeing huge corporations to do as business does. After all of the money it pays to educate politicians and dominate the democratic process. But much of what has transpired during the COVID-19 crisis is not as wildly different as we would like to think. People were living month to month before the outbreak. Poor people and those on the margins of society, whether that status was due to race, class, physical abilities, birth status, or affectional orientation, were in need of various kinds of assistance,
were ignored, shut out, humiliated, mocked, abused, deported, or allowed to die in dangerous environments, cheated out of the dream they should have had access to. Same old story. I wanted to talk today about the power of stories to shape our lives. The stories we tell ourselves or unquestioningly allow to be told of us are central to our life's unfolding, its meaning, and its purpose. All the time I hear people speaking ill of themselves. Regularly, people say such harsh things about themselves. They regularly entrance, even enslave themselves with words that others have spoken of them, or traumatic stories of things that they suffered as children or as adults. Today I started with a huge story from the present because I think it important that we not overstate or simply mouth the grand narratives, more often propaganda than reality, that have the power to change or brainwash us into ignoring the truth we are so often desperately seeking. But through this voluntary quarantine, we have been given remarkable opportunity to slow down, to reboot our own system, to root out old self-defeating habits, to live by our own standard, value what is important, not fool ourselves into thinking that what is expensive must also be important. In this moment, we can say no to the way of the world, at least as it is not serving us, and unshackle ourselves, our church, and this society from processes that are driving its ruin, or at least no longer are useful. In other words, now is the time to create a new story, starting from the bottom up and including all life, not just human life, not as has been the case since time immemorial, beginning and ending with the least little desires of the haves, but finding our way instead to a loving communion that connects the whole, holy, flawed, and perfectible family of being. As James Baldwin put it, there is never time in the future in which we will work out our salvation. The challenge is in the moment. The time is always now. As we go on biding our time in sequester, we continue to think, to dream, to connect and reconnect with others, and to tell our stories. This is fertile ground for our remembering who we are and becoming all that we might be. Each story we hear or tell has a purpose: to remember who we are and where we have come from, to help us to find meaning and assign value to our experience and our interior spiritual life, to help us set a course in life or show us when a course correction is needed. Stories also help us to find our way to our truth and not be deceived. Although sadly, when we allow powerful false narratives to fold into our own story, we can be deceived and wander about lost. New stories will always emerge. However, the question is, will they be our own that we are telling or somebody else's? Will we grasp the importance of this moment and craft a new story? And what should it look like? Sitting around in a form of partial, non-punitive confinement has taught me a few things that I hope to invest my life and work with, even when this virus is history. I hope that it has larger implications, certainly beyond the life of just one person or one church. What do I hope the new story will include? More time with those we love. Not to take prisoners, as Hafiz said, but to experience ever and ever more deeply our divine courage, freedom, and light. How easy to overlook those we love when life seems easy, when we are not threatened into remembering that we are only mortal, when work and technology are claiming more and more of our time, even when it is holding out the prospect of making new connections. More time to do the things we enjoy. During COVID-19, I have rediscovered my love of card playing and reading books simply because I want to, not just to fuel a sermon. I had forgotten how much I used to love playing basketball until I found out that I couldn't play due to the virus, and any close play that I had with another might be a health threat. I have enjoyed more time talking with old friends and many congregants on the telephone and other technologies when used appropriately. I have enjoyed telling stories and walking the dog and inventorying my library, just being me. More time for spiritual practice. Prayer, meditation, yoga, spiritual reading, Lectio Divina, Tai Chi, and on. We can name the various spiritual practices that we have ignored, abandoned, or stopped during COVID because the gym or meditation hall is closed. The spiritual practices that we never have taken up because life is so busy and kids and work. Let the world be your sanctuary today. Let the world be your sanctuary always, and gift yourself with this important work of the soul. So all of this is to say, or perhaps leads to the fact that the new story will be dependent on a prioritization of the things that are important: charity, hospitality, and courageous self-deflection. By which I mean the process of opening up from "I get to be free, gimme," to "we all get to equally enjoy the full fruits of our freedom." This is what should be the mortal way that Nasruddin spoke of. The meaning wasn't that God gives some much and others little or none. I think that the meaning was that humans are tasked to find a way to see all that they may have to share in this beautiful, bountiful earthen home of ours, and to go about doing it equitably. It's also one of our UU values. An acceptance of aging and an understanding of death. Certainly, I don't deny the need for restriction in times like these, but how much the better when we offer self-restraint when it is obviously needed. It is also our work and that of our religions and governments to help us better understand aging and revel in it while we are able, adapt to it as we usually need to do, and that we understand and acknowledge, accept even, death as a part of life, or a new adventure, or the end of a fascinating journey, or the end period, if that is all that it is. The failure to incorporate death into our life's learning and into our societal indoctrination, and accept its chill beauty and mystery leaves too many of us beggars, frightened and asking for a way out when there is only a way through. In the time of our lives, we should live, but not only for ourselves, nor mindlessly following a new liberal scheme, but recognizing ourselves when we look in another's eyes. Our great sacrament must be striving with all our natural power and in the spirit of compassion to co-create an evolved and entirely liberated humanity where all benefit despite our flaws, and upending this deliberately vile, crass, dangerous, rapacious, and unjust age over which we have fancied ourselves to have dominion. Our goal is work. The work is to help organize and contribute to a humanity freed of the old story of grasping and clutching, arrogance and violence, stealing and scapegoating. As the old song says, working for the man every night and day. We do all of this so we might, and I'm paraphrasing Rebecca Solnit here, so that we might live in a world where everyone can tell their own story and know that that story has a place, that it is honored, that it is heard by all and valued as both unique and important. Who knows what tomorrow brings? But in those immortal words attributed to Kalidasa, today, well lived, makes every yesterday a dream of happiness, and every tomorrow a vision of hope. So look to this day. May it be so, and may it be as it should be. Our good words for our leave-taking are called The Horizon of Our Minds by Samuel McCord Crothers, adapted from him. Let the horizon of our minds include all humanity, the great family here on earth with us, those who have gone before and left to us the heritage of their memory and of their work, and those whose lives will be shaped by what we do or leave undone. Go in peace and with a purpose.
We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through just like you always do, till the blue skies dry the dark clouds far away. So will you please say hello to the folks that I know? Tell them I won't be long. They'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep see.